Hello, folks. Guess who? You missed me. I know. Look, look. So today that's video number 3 of Guess Who. So yesterday I made a video about those Hazaras and what they are and so on and so forth, and that they're really not being done wrong, but they're weak and they have this occult that has been like a disease for 1,000 years, refuses to go away and so on. It's like a cyst in the heart of humanity, right? They're not the only ones, you know. They're like them, quite few. Those Hazaras, Gazaras, and so on, and they're spread, widespread, right? Similar to them are the Karmatians with a Q, Karmatians, and you can search and find some information, but you won't find really real information about them. But you see them and you figure them out and define them by their acts, whether it's in Syria or the Soviet Union or Afghanistan or Germany or South America or Asia or Borneo, Myanmar, Burma, right? Myanmar, where Suki, you know, the Khazara and what she did, and in China today, right? You know, and here and there, and Arabia and Africa, and those they have different manifestations, but you can count on them being, you know, the real. They're like a tumor in the heart of humanity, right? They keep eating away, they keep destroying, they keep doing all kind of things. But now, what I wanted to say is, if you recall, in there was a guy called Bin Laden, Osama Bin Laden, you know, and he was in Afghanistan, right? He wasn't in Afghanistan fighting the Soviet. He was what's called the backlines of the Soviets and Israel, for that matter, because he is not what you think he is. He's got a mother from Syria whose last name is Ghanem. They say they're Alawites, you know, but no, they're something else really altogether. And you know who I'm talking about. Guess who? Right? And his father is also a Yemenite. You know, those Bin Ladens are Yemenites, similar to the Houthis, right? And once you see that very long beard, you know, that like very thin, you know, not bushy, but very long beard, that's not Islamic, that's anti-Islamic, if you will. That's really rabbinical, right? But not every rabbinical. These are the ones that in Central Asia, in here and there, right? And they spread out through the Soviet Union, and you find them in the gulags, and you find them in the. So you saw what happened in Syria and what you discovered afterwards. You know, they used to throw or pour gas on dogs, right, and burn them. That's the kind. You know, that's the kind. And you thought you were helping them be free and rule the countries like Iraq, like Syria. Guess what they're doing in Sudan now? Oh, God. You cannot be human and seeing what they're doing and condone or accept or protect what they're doing. You can't be. No, no. No, you cannot be. I mean, if to support them, you're sick. So Osama bin Laden is one of them. That's what he was doing and he's no different from this guy, Lakan, I forgot his name, Ramanul Lakan, you know, that Afghan who murdered those two guys or murdered that Beckstrom in Washington, D.C., and so on, right? They're around here as well. Not everybody, you know, like, but that's them. They're the ones with September 11. They're the ones with the terrorist acts in India and in China, and they always secure or present the cause for the oppressors for the dictators like Lenin, like Stalin, like Dilung, or that Xi Jinping of China, and so on, to prosecute people and kill them and use them and so on and so forth. That's their knack. That's their niche of life, right? That they can't function anywhere in any different fashion anywhere else, right? So that's them. That's what Bin Laden was. That's what Zawahiri was. That's, you know, that's them, right? That's them. That's the same as those guys that you brought here from Afghanistan. Not all of them. Look, I am being a Muslim, Sunni Muslim. We don't use the word all, you know, like what they used to do in the Inquisitions and the French Inquisitions and the Spanish Inquisitions. in the Pyrenees and here and there, like they used to say, like, do so and so, all to all, and let God sort them out. No, no, no. We don't do that, right? We believe in sorting out right and wrong, and and nobody pays dearly for the crime of another. Oh, no, 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 no. So be careful. There's not all. Now I remember, I want to tell you a story. Ever since I came to this country, I seen those guys, if from here and there, the Middle East and so on. Not, again, not all, but quite few of them are of those type. The Hazara, the Alawis, and so on, and they masquerade as Muslims, and they used to go, like, use women, date them, and use them, right? And once they're done, they throw them out, right? Now they present themselves as Muslims and Arabs, right? And that's not the case, right? And then those who be maltreated by them, they started thinking that they started hating the Arabs and so on, and that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I remember that very well. Why do they do that? Because they don't feel they belong to the human race. They feel they belong to this particular group, and everybody else is more like the Terminator. Like, he has a skin, he bleeds, he blah blah, but he has no soul. He's made of metal, right? Believe it or not, this is no joke, no science fiction. That's how those guys feel, the Khazara and the Hazara and the Alawis and the Netanyahus, right? That's how they feel about others, right? So when they kill with vengeance, even if you're not guilty, even and you and your money and your everything that you have is made for them, is what they this junk belief, this dogma, that's deadly dogma, that's sickly dogma, and so on. But nonetheless, that's who they are. That's what they are. Now they used to do that, and then people here think that those people who come from the Middle East, they use and abuse women, and it's not them. A Sunni man, really like myself, will not, will not deal. First of all, we don't commit adultery, right? Two, if we marry someone, we marry them. That's it. That's it. It's as earnest as it gets, right? So a normal marriage to another human being, woman, and so on and so forth, right? But why they do that? Because when they used to go and marry women, and if sometimes they had children, those children that are born from wedlock or from a fake bogus marriage to an American lady or white lady, right? They don't consider that a human being, believe it or not, or to be part of that deadly dogma. You have to be born to both parents or at least one, right? And I think it's the mother, those Alawis or Nuseris or Karmatians or Hazaras or whatnot. Often the case, they don't care about the child, they just throw them out and they don't care about them, right? Sometimes they do, right? Sometimes they do. It's a human nature. Not everybody is like everybody else. But no, to be part of their world, you have to be born to really both parents and or at least one, right? So I seen many examples where they have children and they just don't care about them, right? The only child that counts is that if they're married to one of them. How do they identify each other? Nobody knows. Try all you want. Like I said, they're like, do you remember I mentioned in the previous video of Guess Who, number 2, right? That's the new program. Frankly speaking and truth be told, that's the last one. This one is precise point. No, the new program called Guess Who. So they do that, right? They don't consider a human being. They don't consider. So who they are and how they communicate is beyond me. It's not like the Masonic gestures, hand signals and whatnot, and eyes and whatnot. Right? They do that to you. Like I call it flipping stand language. Sure, they have grandmasters and so on, and they're the origin of that Freemasonry and those guys with the fez, fez. Those fezzes are used for stealing, by the way. Sometimes if somebody passes by, you take that fez out, you'll find some stolen goods under the fez, right? Anyways, So when those guys, if you want to imagine them like that little puppet, supposedly within the guy in Total Recall. He's got those evil eyes, right? And he tells him, he touches him like that, and there's something in them, man. There's just something in them. How they recognize each other, how they talk, it's just beyond me. But they're extremely closely knitted with extreme ties, like don't even breathe, like in those Alawis, they deem someone to be soft, they don't even allow them into the occult. Yeah, they live among them and marry and so on and so forth, but they never allow them on the actual thing, right? That lives in them, that evil, foul, vile thing that is filled with malvolence and malfeasance. And oh man, why am I saying this if I don't know what's in there? I know something in there, but it's what they've done in Syria, the things that I saw there, and what they've done in Iraq, and now in Sudan and Somalia and Libya, and before that Germany, and here and there, and the Soviet Union, and the gulags, and the torture. They enjoy torturing other human beings, right? Or Afghanistan itself, or China in their gulags in the west of the country for Muslims and so on and so forth. You helping them, you think they're your type, they're free, and no, 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 no. If and when they're done with others, they will turn on you. You vetted them papers, background checks, and so on, but you didn't vet them here or here in the heart. You didn't vet them. Oh, no, oh, no, no, no. You don't know who those guys are, especially those Alawis, those Druze, those, Shiites, those Hazaras, those rabbis of Netanyahu who come from there. These guys are not Jews. They're not children of Israel. They're not Jews. They don't believe in all that. Why do they use it? There are very fundamental reasons, and that very important reasons. And those evil ones, they knew how to use that. This Judaism thing, modern day Judaism and Zion and so on. Oh, they know how. They figured out something pretty awful, right? I may even talk about that sometime in the future, but you really have to know you have to have certain background in knowing certain things to be able to make that judgment or understand it. It'll take some time. It'll take me about 30, 40 hours of explaining in a video series, and I will make you understand that. But right now I didn't have time, right? So anyways, there you have it. They will turn on you. You accuse Muslims of terrorism. They're not terrorism. Muslims have absolutely nothing to do with terrorism. All terrorism came from that world, not Sunni Islam. Period. Have a nice day, my friends. And this Venezuela, like I said, I think it'll turn out to be like Vietnam, like Iraq, like Syria here and there. It'll cost Americans a lot, right? Could it be taken in one day? I doubt it. Unless Maduro is like Saddam Hussein, right? Like when the invasion of Iraq happened, those soldiers, Iraqi soldiers, were betrayed big time from within. And this is not the first time it happened. Let me tell you about those Shiites. When the Mongol ransacked Baghdad, and that was the tragedy on the level of humanity, right? They were helped by Shiites back then. Oh, yes, just like they helped you now, right? And the main guy was a vizier or a secretary of something at the caliphate, right? The Abbasid caliphate. His name Ibn al-Alqami, right? And he worked with Hulagu, who was the grandson of Genghis Khan, right? So when Hulagu did what he did in Baghdad, and like it was a tragedy. It was such a tragedy. And those Baghdadis were so betrayed from within that, and the Mongol army was so numerous that history likened them to ants, climbing the walls and so on and so forth, right? And so he came to see Hulagu and shake his hand, and Hulagu basically just looked down at him. He says, "That who betray his own people and his own country cannot be loyal to me." And he died like terrible death, that guy. That's them. Nobody else. Go ahead and read it. Have a nice day, my friend. And guess who?